In 1958, Santa Ana, California was rapidly transforming from a landscape of quiet citrus groves into an endless, rigid grid of suburban tract housing. Within that sprawl, her teenage years were defined by the mundane. She spent long hours working as a checkout clerk at the local Vons supermarket, ringing up groceries with no clear path out of her hometown. That path unexpectedly appeared in 1978. On a whim, she entered a local beauty pageant and won a sudden ticket out of the suburbs and onto a bus to Los Angeles. But arriving in Hollywood with no guidance left her vulnerable. She was quickly taken in by a seemingly friendly couple who ran a metaphysics and vegetarian cult, a group that soon dictated her schedule, controlled her diet, and drained her bank accounts. Her first attempt to escape suburban anonymity had dropped her directly into a predatory environment that preyed on her naivety. She eventually broke away from the cult, but the industry she stepped into operated its own kind of vacuum, one that measured her worth entirely by her physical appearance. To survive, she took what was offered. She shot television commercials for soap and played the token blonde in poorly received movie sequels. Behind the scenes, she was battling severe imposter syndrome. Lacking formal acting training, she felt like a fraud, desperate to learn the craft while being paid strictly to stand there and look pretty. Casting directors reinforced the barrier. They saw a sunny Californian or a reserved ice queen, routinely dismissing her as too conventionally attractive to handle complex or ordinary characters. Her physical appearance had become an obstacle. To be taken seriously as an artist, she would have to force the industry to see past it. The breakthrough required a fight. In 1983, a massive, cocaine-fueled mobster epic was casting its female lead, but the director refused to even see her, convinced her previous musical sequel disqualified her. A producer finally forced the issue. When she got the chance, she walked into the room, stood her ground, and demanded the director's attention. She won the part. Her portrayal of a drug-addicted trophy wife was cold and commanding, totally devoid of the sunny disposition the studios expected, and it made her an overnight sensation. With the door open, she made a strategic choice. Instead of accepting the glamorous leading roles that flooded in, she began hunting for characters that were unglamorous, gritty, and subversive. She used her new popularity as leverage to start hunting for the unconventional roles that would begin to dismantle her stereotype. She continued to strip away her California image. For a mafia comedy, she donned a dark curly wig and a thick Brooklyn accent, entirely shutting her blonde persona. Next came a grueling 4-month vocal training regimen to play a hard-edged lounge singer. That preparation culminated in singing her own vocals, crawling across a grand piano to deliver a performance compared to the greatest stars of classic cinema. Her dedication then shifted to physical transformation. Cast in a massive superhero blockbuster, she trained intensively in martial arts and kickboxing. She rehearsed relentlessly for months, repeatedly cracking a heavy bullwhip until the tip actually broke the sound barrier. The industry rewarded this intensity. By the 1990s, she was commanding up to $10 million per picture, making her one of the highest-paid stars on the planet. Yet she achieved that financial peak while playing mobsters, witches, and villains. She had effectively bypassed standard leading lady expectations to find success playing the dangerous, the eccentric, and the complex. At the absolute peak of her earning power, with scripts piling up at her door, she simply stopped accepting them. She dissolved her production company and vanished into semi-retirement. The spotlight held no power over her desire to step back and prioritize her family. Years later, she returned, stepping seamlessly onto the sets of massive fantasy epics and cinematic universes. Her screen presence was entirely undiminished. Critics now hail her as one of the fiercest, most versatile talents of her generation, a dedicated character actor who happened to be born in a screen siren's body. That actor is Michelle Pfeiffer. She proved she could reach the absolute ceiling of the studio system, leave it behind while still at the top, and dictate the terms of her own return decades later.